even though Labour's, loss of support amongst a lot of ethnic minority voters at this election, in particular British Muslim voters, may have been surprising, there's been shifts in the ethnic minority vote that have been actually taking place over time and in previous elections too. And what we really try to highlight is that by looking at the ethnic minority vote in aggregate and just taking for granted that relationship between ethnic minority voters and the Labour Party, you really miss a lot of the diversity in not just political opinion, but social values, economic preferences that really exist within that population.
Can you just give us a bit of a breakdown in terms of what you found?
So, for example, if we look at 2024, things are a little bit diluted in that data because the Conservatives obviously did so badly at the most recent general election. But we still see that the Conservative support went down the least amongst very specific groups of ethnic minority voters. So, in particular, British Asian voters, in particular those who identify as Hindus. And when we look back at 2019, we see that in specifically British Chinese and British Indian voters are becoming more likely to vote Conservative. Around a quarter of each of those electorates did so back in 2019. And when we kind of look at why we think that might be, when we look at the economic preferences of those groups of voters, so, their views on inequality, welfare, the role of the state and so on, they tend to be much more far kind of right-leaning in their economic preferences than other groups of voters, such as Afro-Caribbean voters or Bangladeshi voters. And so there's a lot of diversity within that, those kinds of sets of preferences that help people make up their minds at elections. So it shouldn't really be that surprising that we're starting to see shifts in the ethnic minority electorate.